From producing soccer legends and winning championships, St. Louis has always been the soccer capital of America. Kansas City may know how to file paperwork to trademark the phrase soccer capital of America, but the deep history of soccer in St. Louis clearly shows which city on Interstate 70 should have the title. Let's dive into the why and discuss how Kansas City threatening to sue St. Louis soccer fans turned them into our modern-day soccer rivals. Professional soccer in the U.S. was born here with the creation of the St. Louis Soccer League, which became the first fully professional soccer league in America. For a stretch of time, it was the only professional soccer league in the United States. The league gained more recognition when it joined the Open Cup, making it a national competition. This is still the most important soccer tournament in the U.S. besides the MLS playoffs. Besides hosting the Open Cup finals more than any other city, 6 amateur and professional teams from St. Louis won the Open Cup championship 10 times. Teams from St. Louis also reached the final as runner-ups 11 times. During this pre-MLS era of the Open Cup, which lasted 82 years, Kansas City had won 0 cups. This local and family-owned funeral home created a team that won the Open Cup 2 times. Cootis Soccer Club also acted as the U.S. men's national team for 2 World Cup games. They even created soccer clubs for teenagers and smaller kids, effectively making their own farm system. St. Louis University holds the record for most national championships in soccer for an NCAA Division I school. We got some SLU players right here. Those guys were awesome. They even gave me a hat. Southern Illinois University Edwardsville is also another extremely accomplished St. Louis college team. They won a Division II soccer championship, then they joined Division I and won a national championship there too. When SLU and SIUE faced off at Busch Stadium, it set the record for the largest crowd at a college soccer game. Speaking of crowd sizes, the St. Louis Steamers of the Indoor Soccer League had incredible crowd sizes. They outdrew the St. Louis Blues in crowd sizes for 4 consecutive years in the 80s. And mind you, the Blues were good. They didn't miss the playoffs a single time in the 80s. Here's a fun fact. The United States has only won 2 Olympic medals for soccer, and St. Louis high school teams won it for them. Unusual circumstances for the medals, yes, but they still count. And the Olympics were in St. Louis that year, the first Olympics to be in the United States. Of all the players to ever play on the U.S. men's national team, 11% of them are from St. Louis. That may be the most insane statistic of this video. The U.S. men's national team coach Greg Berhalter, who isn't even from here, was also quoted saying, "Growing up, we always viewed St. Louis as the soccer capital of the United States. Every single U.S. World Cup team has had at least 1 player from St. Louis. The last World Cup, we had 2 players from St. Louis. And in 1950, we had 5 players from the Hill neighborhood. They achieved one of the biggest upsets in World Cup history that year, and there were movies made about it. 29 players from St. Louis have been inducted into the National Hall of Fame. Now let's look at the present day. In 2023, St. Louis started its franchise in Major League Soccer, St. Louis City SC. The SC stands for Soccer Club, or Soccer Capital, as the team alluded to in its marketing campaigns. Before the first soccer match between St. Louis and Kansas City occurred, a fan-made St. Louis soccer podcast called Soccer Capital Podcast, they announced they were changing their name due to legal threats from Kansas City. This is because Kansas City trademarked the phrase soccer capital of America. This sparked outrage from fans, not only because Kansas City was threatening to sue a fan-made podcast, but also because they thought they had no right to call themselves the soccer capital. The first match was dubbed the Cease and Desist Cup by fans, and St. Louis City SC took home the win. This set up an intense rivalry that can still be felt a few seasons from that game. Personally, I think there's a clear winner of who should have the title soccer capital of America. The MLS teams dominate all the tournaments now, but over the course of soccer history, the MLS is still pretty new. St. Louis was late on getting awarded an MLS franchise for several reasons, one of them being the dumb mustache man Stan Kroenke, when he defrauded the city out of building a new stadium for the Rams, and also our potential MLS franchise in the 2010s. But City SC is just getting started, and I can't wait to see where this rivalry takes us in the future. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. If you liked it, give me a like and a follow on my page, and check back in for more St. Louis content.